On the wedding night, the bride kissed her dead groom right in front of his parents. The in-laws were shocked and said their daughter-in-law had strange taste. It turned out the eldest son carried the virtue of 10 lifetimes. The bride needed that virtue to restore her witchcraft, because in her past life she was the strongest sorceress. Right before ascending to immortality she was struck by lightning, and her soul landed in the body of the second daughter of the Marquis of Dingnan. She woke up to hear she was to marry the Duke's dying son in place of her scheming sister. Now stripped of her powers, she had become a side character. She agreed to marry, but only if she got her sister's dowry. Everyone thought it was no loss. Once the groom died, the dowry would still fall back to the Duke's family. But on the wedding day there was a twist. The sickly groom never showed up. Instead, the butler brought in a rooster as substitute. The bride showed no grief at being a widow. She cheerfully declared she would donate the dowry to the orphanage. The people praised her loudly. Her good deed triggered a return of virtue, restoring part of her powers. The old madam was furious. She claimed the dowry belonged to the Duke's house. The bride shot back it was her dowry to decide. She secretly cast a truth spell on the old madam. The woman blurted out her true thoughts, that once the son died the dowry would still be the Marquis's. Realizing what she had said, she was stunned. The butler was enraged, and vowed to report it to the Duke. By nightfall the Duke and Duchess were panicking. Their son was slipping away. Just then the bridal procession finally arrived. They rushed forward, but when the veil was lifted, they both frowned and asked who she was. The bride insisted she was their daughter-in-law. The couple protested that the Caddis family daughter was the world's #1 beauty, and she looked nothing like her. Before they could argue more, word came the eldest son was dying. The parents grabbed Annie and dragged her into the chamber. Looking around the room, she was stunned to see how strong the groom's virtue was. She wondered if the Duke had kidnapped a future emperor. His pulse revealed a broken tailbone and damaged meridians. No wonder he lay unconscious. Suddenly a black aura drifted in. It sank straight into his body. Annie herself felt faint. She feared if he died she'd be dragged down too. Outside the in-laws waited anxiously. Annie rushed out, telling them to prepare paper men and white candles. The Duke froze. Those were for the dead. The second uncle accused Annie of killing him. Annie snapped back that he still had a breath left, but without the ritual he would be gone. Hearing there was hope, the Duke ordered the supplies. Annie began her spell. The black aura was pulled into the paper figure. The eldest son finally stirred awake. He spat a mouthful of blood and collapsed again. Annie's heart sank. She sensed someone was sabotaging her. Her power drained too fast. Unless she burned the paper effigy, the groom would not survive the night. The second uncle ranted she was a witch. The Duke roared in anger, ordering guards to seize her as a burial sacrifice. At that exact moment another wave of black aura struck. Annie saw how deep his virtue ran. If she drew on it she could restore her strength. She froze them all in place, under their shocked eyes. She kissed the groom on the lips.